What's up, guys? It's Chris from Step Massive, and we are here in Arizona at the Superstition Wilderness, about to head out on a 4-day backpacking trip, solo trip into the wilderness. All right, we're gonna head out now onto the Second Water Trail and head over towards Second Water Spring. So we got a river crossing here. Water looks pretty deep, about a foot deep. I am going to try and ford the river using these rocks. Gonna try and keep my shoes dry, but I'm guessing that probably won't be successful. And at some point you just gotta kind of commit and plunge in and get your feet wet and know that your shoes are going to be wet for the rest of the day, because then you don't have to really worry about keeping your shoes dry on any future river crossings. You can just plunge right in. And I know that the weather is going to be sunny for the next 3 days after today, so I shouldn't have any issue drying my shoes out after today. So I'm going to put the camera away and see if I am successful. Well, we made it across and shoes are still dry. So we got another creek crossing here. We're gonna see if I can keep my feet dry this time. Woo-hoo. So we are about 1.5 miles in. There's been a light, steady rain for pretty much the entire time. This is the first time right now it's sort of cleared up a little bit. Got a little break from the rain. Nothing too bad. Just got my rain jacket on. Didn't even put anything for my shorts. Shorts pretty much stayed dry. I do have a rain kilt that I brought on this trip, which I wear instead of rain pants. The kilt is super lightweight. It's just a piece of waterproof fabric that kind of wrap around my waist, and it goes right down below my knees. It's really compact. I keep it right in my side pouch here, so if I need to put it on, I don't even need to take my pack off. I can just whip it out and put it on as soon as the rain starts. We are now approaching the junction of Black Mesa Trail and Second Water Trail, and got about another 1.5 miles until we get to Second Water Spring, at which point I will decide if I'm going to set up camp in that area or continue on for another few miles, given that I'm not going to be limited by the water at the spring. I'm sure I can find some water beyond the spring if I need to, but hey, by the time I get there, I may be ready to set up camp and just relax for a bit. You know, this is a mountain range, so this is the Superstition Mountains, but it's pretty much a desert environment. Just cactus everywhere, a lot of rocks, and yeah, I've been really enjoying it out here. Everything is really green, which is cool. It's kind of a contrast to when I was over at the Grand Canyon in Arizona, where, you know, most of the predominant color was brown. Everything was real dry. Here, everything's super green, and with the, you know, the mist and the light rain. Right now it's late December. It's just a really great atmosphere out here, and especially knowing that it's going to be warming up a little bit and being sunny for the next couple days after today. It's just yeah, it's a real treat to be out here. Yeah. And we are going to continue on the Second Water Trail. So we're just approaching the junction to the Hackberry Spring Trail and Second Water Trail. We're going to continue on Second Water and make our way over to Second Water Spring, and just hanging out in kind of this little open valley area surrounded by the mountainsides. Got the mist in the background. Very, very mystical. So I'd heard that the Superstition Wilderness is kind of an eerie place. They say it's like the Bermuda Triangle on land, where hikers tend to get lost, people go missing, there's weird stuff out here, there's ghost tales. Probably the most famous tale is of the Lost Dutchman, and you know, supposedly he had a stash of treasure, gold treasure, hidden somewhere, secret gold mine or something like that, and I guess people come out here and seriously try and find it. And some people end up getting lost or disappear. Who knows what happens? So, you know, what better place to come out in the middle of winter by myself for several days than the Superstition Wilderness? So, you know, if I don't return, you guys find this footage, then who knows what happened to me. So on this trip, I debated on whether to try and take my hammock out. I'd heard there's a few places where you can find trees big enough to hang. Spot selection would be very limited because, I mean, for the most part, this is all desert. I haven't seen any big trees. There's like these, you know, these small trees around me, but you definitely can't hang a hammock from any of these. So I decided, you know what, I don't want to have to worry about, you know, finding a camp. I want to be able to kind of take my time wandering through this place and set up camp wherever I choose to. So I decided to go with the tent on this trip, and I think that was probably the wise decision. Just finished this real rocky section of the trail for the last maybe quarter mile or so. Just solid, just rocks, sharp rocks, kind of following down this little creek. Yeah, it was a little challenging. You know, I had to make sure I didn't sprain an ankle or something like that. And but we made it. All right, so the rain has picked up, and I have got my rain kilt put on. Whew. Super lightweight, goes on real easy, just long enough to keep my shorts dry. And since I pretty much only like hiking in shorts, this is the perfect mechanism to keep things dry. Much lighter than rain pants, much easier to put on. Feel kind of cool wearing it too. Got a little skirt on. Well, we've kind of been descending down to this little valley. We passed a bunch of really cool waterfalls and some little pools of water back there. So we have reached the vicinity of Second Water Spring. The actual spring is somewhere around here, but as you can see, there is no shortage of water around here, so don't have to worry about getting to the actual spring itself. We're going to continue on the trail for now, the Second Water Trail, and pretty much I think the next place I find where I can set up a decent campsite, I am going to go ahead and set up for the evening. So for now, we're just kind of following down this little creek here. This is technically the trail, although there's no more trail. We're just essentially navigating down the creek. And in a little ways up ahead, this creek will intersect with another creek. And at that point, it looks like on the topographic map, there's going to be some flat areas where hopefully we can find a place to camp pretty close to the water. Obviously, we don't want to be right on the water per leave no trace principles, but it'd be nice to get a campsite, you know, relatively close to the water, so I can both have easy access to my drinking water and to, you know, maybe just get a little bit of the ambient sound of the running water in the evening, because that's always nice as well. Really cool area over here. Alright, so we have reached the second section of water that intersects with the creek we were just traveling on. This is the Boulder Canyon Creek, and I did not expect to find this much water down here, but yeah, it is raging. So I think I'm going to possibly need to cross this. Looks like there's some sections on the other side where I might like to set up a campsite, and I might be limited on where I can go if I don't cross it. So if that's the case, I'm definitely going to be getting my shoes wet, although at this point they've been getting a little wet here, a little wet there, and by now they're almost completely soaked through. So I am not worried about my shoes getting wet. And yeah, this is kind of cool. There's like some waterfalls up on the canyon side. There's this river, creek coming through, this other creek intersecting it over there. And this is a really cool little spot here. So I'm going to hopefully find a good campsite pretty soon and be able to listen to the roaring sounds of the water throughout the evening. That's a little too deep and the current's a little too fast. I don't really want to risk crossing right there. So we're going to have to go downstream a little bit and see if we can find a better crossing. So I finally found a river crossing. I had to go quite a ways upstream, and it's still coming up to my knees right now. But this river or creek or whatever is raging. It's a lot of rapids. It's pretty deep in most areas, and this is the only spot I could find where it only came up to my knees. Okay, so we found our campsite. There's one little site right here. Got a fire ring over there, and then right around over here there's a second spot with a bigger fire ring. And so we're gonna set up camp around here somewhere. It's all pretty wet and muddy, but it looks like that's gonna be unavoidable at this point. Got a pretty cool view of this little thing over here. Got nice views of the canyon as the sun is just going behind the canyon wall over there. Just in time. And there's even a little waterfall thing coming down there, flowing down the rock face. All right, we got the tent set up and kind of settling down now. Next thing we're gonna do is gonna go check out the water source over there where there's a kind of like a waterfall coming down the rock face, and see if we can filter up some water. Whew. All right, guys, so we are in the tent now, kind of relaxing. I got all my gear pulled into the vestibles. See right there, I got the backpack and all this stuff inside the vestibles, getting nice and dry. And you know what, I have a feeling I'm not going to leave the tent for the rest of the night. I'm just going to relax in here, you know, just step out if I need to use the restroom or something. But I'm gonna get some warm socks on, some dry socks. I'm gonna start grubbing because I have not eaten very much food today, and I have a lot of food to be eaten. And yeah, I'm gonna blow up my air mattress, get all nice and comfy, cozy. Maybe make some hot apple cider or some hot chocolate. And I had to do multiple river crossings today. My feet got quite wet and cold. It was raining. Luckily there was no wind. That was like the one thing that was kind of missing from the weather today. No wind, but cold, rain, wet river crossings. And it feels good to just be dry and in the tent. And looking forward to the next 3 days. This is a great trip so far. You know, you gotta have some excitement along with the views and the scenery. You know, you gotta do a little adventuring. All right, just hanging out in the tent. As usual on most backpacking trips, I just fell asleep and took like a 1.5 hour long nap, I think. It is dark outside. I can hear the river roaring by. It is about 6 p.m. 6 o'clock feels like it's 10:30 because I just fell asleep. But I got some more eating to do. I got lots of food I need to eat before I can go to bed, even though I feel like I could fall asleep right now and probably would sleep through the night. But I gotta cook up some granola, crumble, dessert-y thing. I gotta heat up some water and add to that. I got some string cheese. I got some dried mango. I got a little granola bar thing I gotta eat. And then I'll be ready to go to bed. Apple crisp. This thing's gonna be good. I had to get this big old can of fuel, this 8-ounce can of fuel, because I stopped at Walmart on the way over here because you can't take fuel canisters on the plane. And all they had were these big old 8-ounce fuel bottles. I usually bring like a 3.5 or a 4-ounce, so we got plenty of fuel. I'm gonna light some stuff up with this guy because I cannot bring him back on the plane after me. So we're gonna have some torch status going on at some point, but so we got our water filtering over here using the Sawyer squeeze. And what I like about this system is I brought out a 2-gallon water bottle over here or water bag rather, which is sitting up on a little rock outside my vestibule. And with just this slight decline, it works as a gravity filter, and it is slowly trickling through and filling up one of my Smart water bottles. I already filled up one over here. We got another one over here. And yes, that water is a little bit brown. It has been filtered though. It's just what happens when you're out in the backwoods sometimes. Whether you're getting water from a pond or a lake that sometimes has that, that brownish tea colored tint to it, or this water was rolling straight down the mountainside, so it got a little brown. Who knows what's in there? I don't care. I'm filtering it. I'm not gonna die, but I am gonna drink it. So also on this trip, I brought out my new, bigger 20,000 milliamp or megahertz or whatever that unit is they use to measure battery power with. The 20,000 ounce Anchor. This thing's hefty. It's like 12 ounces or something like that. It almost weighs a pound. So here I'm going to give you the tour of all the things I have hanging in my tent drying out. Got my hat, got my little microfiber towel hanging down, got my tent bag, got my tent pole bag and my tent stake bag, got my liner socks, my main hiking socks, my gaiters, my gloves, and around here, my other gloves, my fingerless Murano wool gloves. All kinds of stuff hanging out to dry. And the truth is, in the morning, none of this will be dry or even close to being dry, but, it's you got to make an attempt. They might be like 1% drier than they are now. But they'll dry out in the sun tomorrow once we get everything out and laid out in the bright sunshine, which is expected at some point in the afternoon. We'll take a little break and dry everything out. But for now, it's my museum of hanging wet stuff.